Eintracht Frankfurt and West Ham United will square off in the second leg of our Europa League semi-final tomorrow evening. The German side claimed a 2-1 victory in the opening fixture at the London Stadium, leaving West Ham needing to repeat their exploits from against the Lyon game in the previous round. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, joined by Luke. Lukey boy, mate, how you feeling about the game tomorrow evening?
As I just told you, it's a mixture between nervous but confident. It's always a kind of a weird one, that, because you don't know which one is which one to go with. But look, I didn't expect the last round, Lyon 3-0, but we did, and we got it, and no one expected it. And we got it, and there's no reason why we can't do it all over again, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Well, listen, last time round, last week we had the kind of build up on the lead up to the game. I brought David Cross-Cycle on, ex-West Ham legend, who came on and spoke to me about the game. I was at the game. I think the goal, Luke, really took the stuffing out of the game, the fans, the players. I can't believe, literally, I was just sitting down and getting settled. I don't even think I had sat down and got settled yet before the next thing I knew, the goal was in the back of the net. And it really knocked us, it was like a proper knockout blow, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think most people were probably in the same position as you, to be fair. I myself was part of the crowd who was all singing and dancing, and singing mainly and chanting, and just finished singing Bubbles pretty much. And then next thing you know, ball comes over, and it's 1-0, and it really did knock stuff in out of us. And I think it sort of, in a way, set the precedent for the way that we would then be taking the game. It was a party mode. It was a party atmosphere. Everyone on the ground was just thought, right, we'll start the game off really nice and tidily. Bang, 1-0 down. It's the worst way to start a game. Like I said to a few guys who was asking me about the game, I said it then meant we were sort of always up against it, which it doesn't always help. The crowd would have been a fantastic 12th man, but even we were like, oh, what do you do now? So it was a sucker punch. It wasn't a nice way to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we always do, we love to bring you the opinion from an opposition fan. So I think it'd be the right thing to do for us to talk about the opposition. So, look, let's go and talk Eintracht Frankfurt. So everyone, please welcome Basti Red, who is also from, am I right in saying, the Eintracht Frankfurt podcast?
Yes, it is. Hey, hi there. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries at all. I massively appreciate you coming on today. So, Basti Red, you obviously, you live and breathe Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt, and you're in and around the area. Talk to me about everything that's going on in Frankfurt just now.
Yeah, there are a lot of West Ham fans around here, around the central station. The city is very electrified. Everyone is nervous. As you said before, it's kind of a confidence, nervous. I'm sweating. I have anxiety. I can't really get to these emotions. I just want this game to be over and know the result. So because there's so much at stake. I can't handle the situation. I can't handle Seville. I can't handle Barcelona. And now West Ham away, and we are now West Ham home. We had 2 years of nothing, 2 years of Corona, 2 years of no stadium, 2 years of nothing, and then all in a very, very short period of time. A lot of those emotions, it's quite too much. I have to consult a doctor after all this.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat, to be honest, right. Basti Red. And there's a similarity between the two clubs, of course. But, something that we can talk about very briefly before we kind of talk about the Europa League itself is Frankfurt's domestic form. You're not doing too well in the Bundesliga. What's going on there? Has the focus been solely on the Europa League? But obviously the focus will switch to Europa League laterally because you're now in the semi-finals and you're leading going into the second leg. But before that, what was going on within the league performances?
I think it goes further down before the season because due to Corona, we had some trouble with money, and we couldn't afford a proper striker. So, and you can see that in the league when we play against smaller teams who are very defensive. We don't have any solutions for that. So we need an opponent who wants to play soccer too. So football too. It's like who's offensive, and then we need some space, and we have 3 small strikers. And we don't have a real striker like you with Antonio. So I guess that's what costs our season. So it's like a Corona season where we didn't have any money. So I can't handle that because the focus is on the Europa League now. But only the Bundesliga season is not that good this year.
Yeah. Look, have you got anything you want to add before I kind of go on to other questions?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you need a team that play football as well, so you can combine the element. And actually, it makes me think: how did you think the game went in the first leg? Did you think we met those expectations, or what? The second question is: you just said that we got a proper striker in Antonio.
In our view, I know,
okay.
I know Antonio was a right wing before, but he's very massive and he's strong, and we have very, very thin, small strikers. So that's what I'm referring to.
No, fair enough. I totally understand. The funny thing is he started the season fantastically well. He was like a proper, like you say, he's a proper English striker almost. What you class as that. And the goal we scored against you guys was the first goal we scored in a long time. Which also which kind of leaves West Ham fans. We've been thinking for ages. He's a striker that doesn't score goals because he kind of does everything else but. So we kind of expected in the last game for him to be throwing his weight around and being a danger for the Frankfurt defenders, and he wasn't really that. Not I was in the stadium. I was watching the game the same as Anton, and I didn't really think he had that great a game overall. And I was quite surprised that he actually got on the end and scored the goal because his finishing of late has been pretty much atrocious. I personally have no confidence of him in front of goal, and I love Antonio to bits. He's been a fantastic player for West Ham, but it just made me laugh the fact that he went a proper striker, and Antonio thinking he was about 6 months ago.
I meant it physically. So
yeah, of course, I understand that. Yeah.
So going into the first game, obviously, I said it just at the start there, and I think you maybe heard me and Basti Red say, the fans were just even trying to set. Well, I was going to say the fans. I mean, your fans traveling away from home. I mean, that was a show. That was a spectacle in itself. It's so impressive. And I must admit, I've been to several European games this season, and the European fan base coming into the stadium do take it to that next level. And at certain points, I want to be within the fans. I want to be within that crowd because it's this consistent jumping, and it was so organized. The top tier was going, the bottom tier was quiet. Then suddenly the top tier went quiet, the bottom tier was going, and I was like, what's going on? But I never even had a minute. To get my head around it. And suddenly, bang, Frankfurt scored. So what was your thoughts then, Basti?
I have no thoughts at this moment. I was just realizing what's going on, and the game just started, and then I had to celebrate a goal, and I was totally out of control. And then I was standing there looking at the scoreboard and the clock, and I said, fuck. It's about 90 minutes. It's about 19 minutes to go. And I was very nervous. I have to say the first half was maybe the baddest and most, I don't know how to explain it, but it was very, 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 very bad to get over with, because it's like the minutes couldn't go by. It felt like it was 2-hour first half. And then you scored the equalizer, and it was even better. And then your stadium came, and there was like kind of the roar, and then it's like, oh, what the fuck, please. And I was very, very pleased when it halftime whistle blowed, so I can chill down. And then in the second half, it was a little bit better because Eintracht did me the favor to play more focused, more calm. Glasner made some adjustments, so the game is a little bit more in control over Frankfurt, and that what made me possible for me to chant and support as well, because in the first half I was totally a nervous wreck.
Yeah, of course. Listen, there's a few players, we don't watch your club week in and week out, but we have to do as much research as we possibly can going into the game. So we were hearing about particular players, but I mean, I don't know how true it is. Is this player going to be missing? Lindstrom? He seemed to be quite influential in the first leg. or does your manager like to play a bit of smoke and mirrors and hide the fact that he will be available?
I think this will be a close call, but he's injured. He's really injured. He didn't went to the training pitch. So if I had to bet some money on it, I would say he won't play.
Okay. How much of a loss is a player like him not playing for you guys then?
It's kind of a big loss, not only on offensive but also on the defensive. So because he's attacking, he's very fast player. He's kind of unusual player, so you don't know what he will do next, and he's kind of a young player who doesn't think too much. So he's very important. But if I had to choose one position where we had to replace a player, then would be this position, because we have very much small and fast little players. So we can replace him, I guess, with Jens Peter Hauge, or some adjustments when Kostic goes one step in front and then another defender comes on. So I guess we had our podcast yesterday, and my friends wanted to talk about single players as well. And I said, guys, it doesn't matter. This is one game. This is this game. This is history in the making. It doesn't matter who's on the pitch, because everyone who's on the pitch will give everything for this city, for this club, for the love, for the emotions, and for this big Europa League final. And you can relate to that for clubs like us, who have a very strong tradition and very strong fan base and very, very history. But we didn't have much success in the past, so we had to go through a lot. Yours as well, and and then it's this big final ahead. So I guess every player who's in the starting lineup will give everything and more.
I think I completely agree with that sentiment, and I think, look, you do as well, because you do feel like you're the underdog half the time, and when you are being reasonably successful, it's about watching our teams handle that success, how we can how we are able to handle that success. And I feel like when I look at, Frankfurt, who came up against Barcelona in the last round, and I know it's a very different Barcelona, but it's still a very, very, very good Barcelona team. And you turned them over. You done them over. But, and yous are now unbeaten in the competition. And there's such a different comparison to the league, but you've risen to the occasion, the biggest stage you possibly can. And here's a route to the Champions League. Here's the route to a European Cup that you could go down in history for winning. And we feel the same. So I can see it. We're all sitting here like this. What's going on?
Yeah, right. I can hardly talk about it without crying. So it's kind of, as I said, it was like I didn't recover from Barcelona, and I didn't recover from your away game at yours. But it's kind of surreal times, We had 2 years of Corona, and now this could be history, and I'm very nervous. I can't sleep. I can't handle my usual life. I can't talk to normal people who can't relate to what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't know if I'm go to the grocery store. I don't know. I went in there and I forgot about what I wanted to buy, and I just went out, and then I had nothing to eat today. So it's kind of.
But we're hearing, though, there's a couple more players potentially missing from your squad, but you also have a player that is returning, and is it your star defender in Dika, who did get himself sent off in the last couple of minutes against Barcelona. So he returns to the squad. What difference will he make to your team?
He will make it he will create more stability. He's a kind of very calm player. He's very calm, and he's very, he's the chief of our defense. So he's not a loud player with many adjustments, and then he's like telling every other player what to do. But he gives this. I don't know. He gives this stability to the team, and he's a very, very good player, which we'll probably lose in summer, probably to the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, you had a lot of small guys in your team who kind of, I think when you were up against West Ham in the first leg, what I noticed was you're a very good unit as a team when you go forward. However, when West Ham went on the counter-attack, you could see there was a little bit of panic setting in. However, you also broke down West Ham's defence because of your clever play. Players like Kamada, who found the space, players like Lindstrom and Rode, who were playing the ball and penetrating our defence. So is that the kind of tactics that you are going to be using in the game tomorrow, especially at home? And then the second part of the question is, what's it like playing in front of the Frankfurt fans? If you're the Frankfurt team playing in the Frankfurt fans, and let's just say you do go 1-0 down, are the fans on the back of the players quite a lot?
The first question. What was the first question again? I'm so confused. I was imagining the atmosphere from tomorrow. So.
Just about the amount of small players that you have. Come at it.
It will be it will be the tactic because it has to be the tactic. We have no other option. You know, our big strikers are not informed. You can't bring them in. You can't bring Lammers. You can't bring Paciencia. So we had to go with these technical small players, and we have to go with the. Yeah, we are. Little bit Frankfurt style tiki-taka, and I hope because we are in front of with 1 goal that West Ham, as the game goes by, and I hope you don't score early goal like we did, that we will get more space. The more time the game gets, that we get more space, so these a lot of fast players could really create some counterattacks. So that's what I'm thinking. But I hope Frankfurt doesn't do the same mistake against Betis Seville. Because we were ahead 2-1 as well in the away game, and then we played at home, and then we kind of a defensive, and it's 0-0 all the time, and then the 90th minutes came, and then it's 1-0 Sevilla, and then we have to go to extra time. So this tactic doesn't work. So Frankfurt has to attack. We have to pretend like it's 0-0 from the start, like the West Ham away game never happened. It's like a cup game. It's this one night, and this is this one opportunity, and this is this one, and now I come to the atmosphere. This one magical atmosphere we will create, and every single Frankfurt fan in the stadium will scream the hell out of his heart tomorrow, because everyone knows what's at stake, and everyone knows how big this would be. So how big this would be, and I think tomorrow night will be a very, very, very special atmosphere. And I know we had special atmospheres as well against Benfica, against Donetsk, against Inter Milan, but this will be some extra level tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, you got anything to add?
No, I think the way he's been saying about how emotional he is, I'm feeling like I'm not emotional enough. I think
you're about to cry, mate. You're about to cry.
Well, I'm not. I'm taking it all in. I mean, I feel like I should be. I feel like I'm not doing West Ham support justice enough. But that's. I think the guy said to me at work today or yesterday. He said, "How you feeling?" I said, "I'm all right." He goes, "If that was me, I'd be like, couldn't even do my job properly because I'd be that up in the air emotionally and stuff like that." But it's funny because, as you say, you know, that the way you're talking, Frankfurt fans are going to take it like this is, you know, all one, the whole of Frankfurt together, all going for it, all, you know, charged emotionally. That was how it was kind of feeling for us at West Ham throughout the day, throughout the afternoon. Anton, you went up there, we found stuff like that.
Until the 45th second of
but this is what I was getting to, right? So it was all this, and then we're still chanting, doing the West Ham songs. I've not even sat down in my seat, I don't think, and then suddenly you go and score. So that's, to me, how I've never experienced a Frankfurt game. I've never experienced how good the Frankfurt fans are. I'm sure they're you know, just as passionate as we are, probably if not more in some ways. And I'm hoping that maybe if his role reversed, if the Frankfurt fans are that loud and that emotional, we go and score a goal in the first 30 seconds and knock you lot to, you know, and it all goes exactly the same. Because in many ways, you know, as the away goals rule's gone now, you know, a 1-0 win isn't really a win. Obviously, it takes it to extra time. It means at this level, and this is the kind of game that can go to penalties. Can be that. It's going to be that.
Yeah. I wouldn't survive that. I wouldn't survive that. I would leave the stadium before.
Listen, there's a couple of questions for you, and we'll get cracking on for the rest of it, and then we'll move on. So, question for Baston: who do Frankfurt think is the West Ham player likely to cause the most problems?
I guess Bowen. This was the guy who did the bicycle kick, right?
Yeah.
Well, I still have it in my. I'm still shaking if I think of it.
So are we.
So, because of my view from that waiststand, I couldn't see if the ball dropped in or out the goal. It's like I was looking at the referee. If he's looking at his watch and VAR, I was so fucked up at the situation. But he's kind of a good player. He's kind of a very technical player. I think of him as at first, but I don't think of any player. I think of the set pieces. You know, it's like you have very, very, very big defenders, and the set pieces are very dangerous for us. So
Yeah.
I say the thing is, there's so many similarities between our clubs and the fans and the history, and not being successful, but always emotionally supporting, but also on the pitch. It's like you're not that big offensive team like we are. It's like you have to fight some, you have to a little bit long a ball, very, very much play on the wings, and some special players. But I wouldn't bring it down to one player, because it's more the style you have. It's more the physical style. I think you have. I think you're better at the physicality, and so that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, as I said, the set pieces and the big players and the I don't know. I don't really want to think about any dangerous players.
So I've got more questions, but I want to jump onto your team then. So this was how you lined up the last time out. What changes, and are there many changes we can expect to see tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we have to replace Lindström with Jens Peter Hauge. Okay. He's kind of a similar player. And there's I think Touré will go out for Ndika. And the question is if Roda stays on or Jakic is coming back too. Here he had 3 yellow cards, I guess, and he's kind of a Croatian fighter. I don't know. It's for my feeling, I would go with Jakic, but I guess Glasner stays with Roda because of the experience. So there are 2 changes. Touré goes out for Ndika and Lindström goes out for Hauge.
Okay, excellent. So you've got a 2-1 victory going into the game tomorrow. What is your head coach Glasner saying to the team going into this game tomorrow? I mean, you've come off the back of not a fantastic result in the Bundesliga. Neither did West Ham, but we all rested players. We all protected our players for this big game, because this is the one we're throwing ourselves into. So what's the manager saying to the players in preparation for this game tomorrow night?
I think he would say the same thing as I did. It's like they have to pretend it's 0-0. So it's don't forget about the goal you're in front. And I think he won't emotionalize the players like I'm talking. I think he's more clinical. He's more tactical. He would say, calm down, play your ball, play as we all play. We did it in Barcelona. Don't let you impress by the physicality of the West Ham players. But also he would say, take the atmosphere, take it with you. Let it. I don't know, let it fly you to the final. So I guess he has to find the balance between emotion, but also clinical tactics. So it's like, it's not easy. It's not easy because every player is as much as motivated as I am. So, and they have to play. I can stay on stands and drink and scream and everything, but the players have to focus and concentrate. And I think Glasner will get the right balance for that. So you have to have a mix from emotions and tactics.
Yeah. Ballon Dawson is in the house and he's saying, please ask Bastian, can you explain why Frankfurt Bundesliga form is so inconsistent, but Europa League has been so good? We kind of touched on it a little bit, but you can go for it.
I touched it because the main reason for me is the striker. So we couldn't afford a proper striker. So we had our issues with smaller teams who are very defensive. And in the Europa League, you have no small teams. They're all teams who have their own ambitions. And as they have ambitions, you get more space. And if you have space, you can use these small, fast players to make some counterattacks. And also we developed a good center midfield so we can make some good passes. But in the Bundesliga, there are many small teams. They're defending with 8 people. And if you don't have a big striker who can also score a header or something, if nothing else goes, then yeah, that's the reason why Eintracht isn't that successful in the league. But it's not an obvious fault that I'm mad at them, because as I said, due to Corona, we have very much less money than we usually did, because there were no spectators and no spectator money. So I guess we had all to go through Corona. Eintracht Frankfurt did too, and Eintracht Frankfurt did very well when we reached the semis in the Europa League.
Yeah, absolutely. A random question: is that a Banksy copy behind you on the wall?
It is, and there's also a Family Guy.
I like it.
Excellent. So coming on to the game tomorrow, then, but before we ask you to go, Basti, and it's been a massive pleasure to meet you as well, and you know, I wish you all the best after tomorrow's game. Of course. So coming into the game tomorrow, you know, you've already said the kind of danger man from West Ham could be Bowen. There's going to be 2,500 West Ham fans in there. What is your predictions for the game tomorrow?
I don't know. I refuse to make a prediction. The thing is, I think as Luke said, this could go to penalties. So, but
yeah,
you're an English team and you can't do penalties, so I'm very confident.
It's true, though. It's true. It's true.
But the thing is, 3 years ago we lost against Chelsea at penalties, so that's bullshit. What I just said.
Last question for you then is from Steve. He says, if we go 1-0 up early, will your fans turn on the players?
No way. No fucking way. We will even scream louder to support them. So there's no chance in hell we're going to turn on these, even if we're 3-0 down. So we will. This is so big. This is a Europa League semi. Even if we lose, then we will be disappointed for about 10 minutes. And it was the same feeling at the Stamford Bridge when we lost against Chelsea in the penalties. It was a quite time for 5 minutes, and afterwards we celebrated what we achieved, and we celebrated that Frankfurt and the club is a real big family.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I'm going to emulate Hammersbake's question here. Do you fear West Ham or are you confident? I think you probably have said that in the show. You're probably feeling how we feel. You're a mixture of emotions. You're happy, you're excited, you're worried, you're nervous. Everything's
everything. I have to say, I have big respect for West Ham on and off the pitch. I think it's kind of a cool club. And that's what makes me scared, because it means the same thing to you as to us, and so I can relate to that. So I know you have the same energy as we do. So, and if I see my energy and I can see you have the same energy, it's kind of it's a dangerous situation for both of us. So
yeah,
it's like this should be the final. I have to say, this should be the final.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge that.
Well,
yeah.
Look, before Basti goes, you got anything you want to say, Luke?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. There was many more things, but because we've been talking so well, I've sort of forgot half of them. I'm going to go with the two that I was going to say. This season's been quite amazing for us West Ham fans, because it's been a long time since we've had a run in Europe, proper Europe. I think within the last 10 years, we've made Europa League sort of qualification. We haven't quite made the group stage or anything like that. It was the first time especially since we've moved, because we were promised, we were meant to have, be in Europe from the moment we moved stadiums into the London Stadium. It hasn't happened. This is the first time it's happened, and I think most West Ham fans would agree. We've probably gone further than a lot of West Ham fans probably thought. So you're saying that Frankfurt lost to Chelsea on penalties about 3 years ago. Well, this is like everything that it's like Hollywood for West Ham fans at the minute. So for me personally, I remember being in the ground for the first leg, and I think we were losing 2-1. I think there must have been about 10 minutes left or something like that. And I just looked at your fans in the away end, just all jumping up in unison. And it was the first. We've had Rapid Vienna in the group stage, and they were quite good as fans, but there wasn't enough of them really to make an impact. But I saw your fans just completely sell out the away stand, and I sat there and I just thought, even if we don't, I'm not, touch wood, I'm wrong here, but even if we don't go through any further or anything, I'm just going to enjoy this, because your fans were so amazing. The way they were orchestrated, it was like how can I put it? It's like a dance almost. You're watching a choreographed dance. It was so amazing to watch with the flags and everything. I thought, I'm going to remember this night and what the Frankfurt fans have done at our ground, because I might not get to see West Ham in Europe again for many years. We're not kind of where we were last season. We've not done as well domestically as we did last season. We're doing well in Europe, but if we lose tomorrow, we're not going to probably get Europe, especially not Europa League. It's not looking very likely. So it's been one to remember, and I think your fans, like you say, we're very similar fans. I hope you don't have an emotional breakdown tomorrow night. 'Cause I think you're on the verge of it.
I will have either way. So I will have
Yeah,
either way. So.
fair enough. It's been nice to talk to you tonight because it's been we don't know. This is the thing, we don't know what opposition fans are like. You might look at West Ham as a Premier League team and the big Premier League that the whole world watches or whatever it is, the top league and stuff that everyone keeps saying. All the money in the world and stuff like that. We apparently had money in January, didn't want to buy a striker, so we were opposite ends. Then we had the money and didn't apparently want to buy a striker. That's where we're at with that.
You know why we hadn't any money? Because you don't give us a full amount for Sebastian Haller.
We could put him back to you, to be fair, but he chose Ajax. But that's what our owners are like. But that's a different thing. But just to say that your fans are really amazing at the first league. It was something I won't forget ever. They were crazy.
And I think tomorrow what we're going to see is that electric atmosphere again. And as long as everyone stays safe and we all stay friends and we can all have a laugh and all the best to whoever gets through. I mean, of course, you want Frankfurt and we want West Ham. But listen, Basti, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you very much. Respect. And like I said, all the best for the rest of the season after the game tomorrow. Stay safe and well. Keep it easy. Yeah, good man. Bye-bye. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great guest. Fantastic guest.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think he sums up both emotions of both clubs.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, mate, we're not finished there with guests. We're going back over to Frankfurt. Right back over to Frankfurt, live in Germany. They've been sitting waiting. They've been waiting patiently. They've had a couple of beveraginis, and we're going to bring them in. And it's John and Martin. How you doing? He's okay.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. Hi, Manu Irons. Just finishing off a bit of a meal here. We've got neutral, so we've been eating in an Italian restaurant tonight. Although we've sampled a local beer during the day. Come across West Ham fans in town, and it's the usual sort of thing. It's Irons, and then you get the reply Irons. But we noticed most West Ham fans that we came across were all on those little motorised scooters. I don't know if they were escaping from anybody or what, but we saw quite a few of them in West Ham shirts razzing around town on these little e-bikes. We went past the main pub. Is it O'Reilly's?
Yeah,
by the station. Or the West Ham fans
are. It's just completely buzzing, absolutely buzzing. That guy was excellent, by the way. That's the kind of high. I'm a bit disappointed that someone's proposed.
Can you hear? Look, can you hear Martin?
I can. They're a bit delayed.
It's jumping in and out.
Give him a chance.
Right.
Oh
no.
Shall I even come back?
No. You stay. It's fine.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll drop him out again. Just see. I don't know what happened there. Let's try that. Can you hear us now, Martin and John?
We could have it.
Let's try this. Right, there we go. We'll give them time to come back in. But as we were talking about that there, it was live. That's what happens when we go live. He was a great guest. It was really nice to have that, fan on and to hear how they are about the Europa League and how they feel about like coming up against clubs like West Ham. I mean, listen, I'll mention it very briefly. I mean, I'm hearing some reports that there's some trouble that's happening out there in Frankfurt, but I think it's only. I think it's. I just hope everyone stays safe and etc. And
well, for anyone wondering, I'm just going to put this out. I think it's an over. What do you want to call an overspill of when West Ham fans got ambushed? I think it was in Seville because Frankfurt had Betis, and they ambushed the pub or the cafe that West Ham fans were in. And I think it's just kind of the same thing again. So if you're out there, you'd know more than me. But apparently it's an overspill of what happened last time. People can say they're always innocent. Apparently it's nothing to do with West Ham fans. They're just getting randomly ambushed at different pubs they've been allocated. So it might be that you've got to keep your eyes out because apparently they're targeting certain pubs and cafes. That's just what I've read on certain reports. So
I think we just, it's I think the problem is, well, hold on a second. Budgie, is Hammerette out there? Is she out there? I didn't know she was out there. I didn't know she went. So please let me know if she's gone. Please put that in the chat because I want to know if she's actually. I didn't know she went. That'd be cool.
Yeah, on the show.
just stay safe, everyone. If you are obviously out there, etc. Matt's around. Matt, everyone was panicking. Everyone was panicking. Everyone thought the channel was falling, breaking down. We were losing everyone. Everyone was walking out. Everyone was closing the doors and turning their backs on the West Ham network. But no, Matt's just decided to turn up when he wants. He turns up when he wants. Flax, that's all. He turns up when he wants. Let's talk about West Ham. Let's talk about West Ham. Right, cool. I'm glad she's gone out there, and I'm glad she'll be fine, mate. She'll be fine, Budge, and Stephen will look after her as well. So she'll be having a right good old booze up and sing up. But it's time to talk West Ham. Let's go and have a little chat and see what Mr. David Moyes said in his presser. Right, so he, again, was a very busy man. So I've only pulled some of the stuff together, but he did go on and talk about the team news. He said at the moment, everybody is fit. Ben Johnson had a thigh strain, but he seems to be okay at the moment. So he'll come back into the squad. He said the op had rolled his ankle, but he's made an incredible recovery. Is he absolutely 100%? Maybe not. But we're at the stage of the season where we're needing to maybe take 1 or 2 risks and get him back in the squad. Listen, lads, 1 week ago, we had not a single centre-half available. Now we've got 3. Now we've got 3 back. How are you feeling about that? Luke, go to you. Oh, no, Matt, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, go.
It does feel like Moyes has... He's either done one of 2 things. He's either kept the ball over everyone's eyes and just, massively over-dramatised it. Like, Diop's rolled his ankle and he's going to be out for a week and he's just gone, no, he's out for the season, guys. Or he's gone a bit of a Big Sam and just gone, you know what? There's 3 weeks of the season left, 2 weeks of the season left. Chuck them in. Just what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
because they're either going to be fit and you might get 50 minutes out of them, play half a game each or something, or they're going to be injured anyway. In which case, it doesn't really matter. It's do or die time in the season. So, I mean, Dawson's played how long injured this season? Just been getting injections every game for about 5 months. So surely Diop and Zuma can do it for a month. Just have a couple and get the games out. And then there's no tournaments this summer, is there? So they get a couple of months off.
Yeah.
Do or die time. Chuck everyone in.
Love that attitude. But it's pretty ridiculous to think that literally, I mean, this is what it's become, the unpredictability of David Moyes. And I'm not going to lie, I really do like it. I really, really do like it. It is something it's like a breath of fresh air, actually, to see. And it's good because it challenges, when you run a YouTube channel and you run a social media group or whatever, and you're trying to find stories and you're trying to put stories out there, the information that's given is something that drives the content. But I'm going to contradict that because I like when it's hard. I think it's great when it's hard because it doesn't give anything away. It really doesn't give it. What was the
reaction in the stadium like last week when everyone, before the first leg, and everyone looked at their phones and was like, Zuma's in. Everyone was
that
like,
was
what?
Me. I was one of them people.
Mate, I was actually in the stadium, like, having a piss. Like, as the team come out. And some guys run into the toilet. Everyone's, like, queuing up. This guy's like, Zuma's in the team. Everyone's just standing there like, what? What are you talking about? And then everyone starts pulling their phones out, like, queuing up for the toilet. I was like...
But sorry, mate. Sorry.
Like, the anticipation and the confidence just, like, shot up. Yeah. Just by something as silly as Moyes going, I'm not letting the team news out. I'm keeping it as a big surprise to give everyone a morale boost. Rather than a couple of years back when everyone knew the team like 3 days before.
Yeah. Let's go back live to Frankfurt, though, because we've managed to get the duo back. John and Martin have arrived back in. Are you okay? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, really sorry about that. But, that's obviously the bandwidth's been taken by the Germans now, so they quite know what that's all about. All I was going to say was, this is a side that have not won at home since December. I mean, just suck that in, guys. That is
It is sucked in.
14 weeks. Actually, hang on, there's more. No, it's not. It's bloody 18 weeks. What the? So, is this a team whose fans get on their backs if they don't do well? Just ask yourself that question. Bearing in mind, you've been following a team, all of you watching this, who've been playing at a stadium where you've been getting on their backs every time. And what happens when this happens? The team don't play well. For those of you who've been away for the last 5 years, that's been us at the London Stadium. And hey, guess what? It's not happening anymore. It's infectious. Okay, I know we lost to Arsenal, but that doesn't count. Mike Dean makes that.
Oh, no.
Still on the bandwidth again.
Bandwidths are gone again.
Oh, he makes a good point as well.
I know.
He was probably getting into it. That was a speech.
He's still going for it.
Okay.
They've got a 30-second segment. They've got no more than 30 seconds.
I don't know what's going on.
Poor old
so,
boys.
team news is looking good. You know, no unfit players. But like you said, Matt, I mean, the smoke and mirrors is ridiculous, but I do like it. It is good, and it's fresh, and it's nice to have at the club. But let me move on to the next part. He talks about Jared Bowen. He said Jared's development has been incredible. When you talk about the goals he's scored and his assists, we're actually now talking about someone who's probably on the verge of getting called up for his country. That's the way it looks to me. And I think that's the big thing, that we've got players doing that. And it's so bloody true. And I know we talk about him week in and week out, but you literally, I'm starting to feel about Jared Bowen, right? Big, bold, crazy statement I'm about to make here, but I think it's worthy of it. I'm starting to feel about Jared Bowen when he gets the ball the way I felt about Dimitri Payet when he got the ball. Something is going to happen. We're either going to score, he's going to assist, but he has got the same ability to change the game. Now think about this. He hit the post twice against Frankfurt in the first game. He scored against Arsenal. His stats for this season are ridiculous. But every time he does get the ball, you can't remotely deny that defenders and the opposition team look at him and go, back the fuck off, holy shit, what are we going to do? This guy is, because he takes so many touches. He's so, like, there's no pace. It's just fast feet. And they don't know where he's going to go. He goes left, he goes right, he goes left, he goes right. It's, I genuinely think he's got that ability. He's up there. Luke, you want to say something, and I'll bring in the other lads while we're talking about it. Just to bring you up to speed, Martin. We're talking about. I've asked Luke there just to give us his opinion about making the comparison to when Bowen gets a hold of the ball to when Dimitri Payet got hold of the ball, because I do think that he is starting to get to that level of when he gets the ball, something's going to happen. So Luke, go for it, and then I'll come over to you, Martin.
Go Martin first, because he's only got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, go on. You've got a 30-second bandwidth. Go for it, Martin, then.
I'm just saying, I totally agree with you. Bowen is such a nice player. You're absolutely got 100%. And they are going to cack themselves every time he gets the ball. And of course, don't forget, we're the away side. For some reason, that is a problem for them. And no one is telling me that 4 months of not winning at home isn't in their head. That's in their head. They've seen Bowen. They've seen that in a reasonably disappointing game at Arsenal, which they will all have watched. You know that. They will see he still scored. They will see he got victimised with that ludicrous challenge by the Arsenal keeper, who should have been at least booked. And then they shouldn't have been given the kick that they ended up scoring from in the end with the 2-minute thing. So they'll be frightened of Bowen, yeah. I think that's really important. And I think this game is one up there. I haven't heard all your conversations. You may well have been saying this all evening. But this is a game that is one in the head. When you get to this stage, everyone has got talent. Everyone has got players in the side that can win. Look at the Lyon game. If they'd scored with that one that hit the post in the first 7 minutes, anything could have happened. But, you know, by the beginning of the second half, we'd won it. And everyone knew it wasn't a typical West Ham going 3-0 up anymore. We weren't going to concede 3 goals. We weren't going to. And tomorrow, my prediction is that if we don't concede, we go through, because we are certainly going to score. They have a terrible record at home, and no matter how much they like to think they haven't, they will not be able to get that out of their head. And the best thing, and I'm sure you've been saying this all night, and I apologise probably for repeating it, if we score in the first 10 minutes, the game's over, because they will get on their back and it's over then, because you know... What I said earlier is that I think our 12th man is going to be the Eintracht crowd. The bizarre thing of the crowd normally being our 12th man, it's going to be their crowd that's going to be our 12th man. That's my prediction. If we can score first, we win this game. No questions.
Love that. Love that optimism, lads. Matt, over to you, mate.
Got to say
it. Yeah, I actually agree. Like there's got to be some sort of mentality thing. Like, there's no way that it won't play on the heads if we score. You know, their whole thing, and it suits us playing away from home, because how are they going to manage it? You know, I'd actually be more worried if we was going into this game 2-1 up than I would if we were 2-1 down. Because 2-1 up, Moyes would have just put the team out there to sit. And it's hard to sit and play defensive and then get yourself going again. Right? It's hard for teams to do that.
Because I think the thing is that it's theirs to lose now, because they got the lead. What do you do with the lead? The lead, along with taking the lead in a game, especially a game like this, a high-octane game like this, taking the lead in a game like this is a responsibility. What do? Do you sit back? Do you attack? And if you attack and concede, what do you do then? The questions are all on the team that are in the lead. And I think I agree totally that, ironically, being behind could be the best thing for us for this kind of game. This is a team that are brilliant on the road, but are a disaster in front of their own fans so far.
For anyone that doesn't know, there's updates coming in the chat. So Real Madrid have just scored 2 goals in 1 minute. In 1 minute, they've scored 2 goals in 1 minute.
It's now 5-5 on aggregate.
It's now 5-5 in aggregate. So they scored in the 90th minute and the 91st minute. That shows you never give up until the final ball. Never give up.
Those 2 legs, greatest game of all time until tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Martin and John, you've seen many a fan kicking about, and just I don't know if you're hearing some of the reports of some areas, and I know you're probably staying clear of some of those areas of there's a little bit of trouble here, there, and everywhere. So please stay safe where you are, and I know you will. But the atmosphere is going to be key tomorrow into that game. You know, 2,500 lucky West Ham fans, and you're 2 of those 2,500 lucky fans being in that stadium. How are you feeling going into the game tomorrow? How are you thinking Moyes is going to be feeling? And then finally, what are your predictions for it tomorrow?
Well, I think John's chatting. I'm going to grab him over in a moment. I think we're both very optimistic, and I think the fans are great. I mean, it's you've no idea how delicious it is to see loads of West Ham fans in a foreign capital, or a foreign city, I should say, and all buzzing, all of them. You stop any of them, they're not walking around moping, going, "Oh God, we're going to get them." They're here because they're here to see us win. No question about it. And the atmosphere, the fans, it's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it, and I've been following this team for a long, long time. It's so exciting, and I feel confident. I think we'll win it. I don't see. My mind won't allow any other thought than us in that final. I mean, what happens in the final depends who we play, but I see us there. I visualise us there, and that may sound a little bit sort of new age nuts, but that's how I feel at the moment. I'm going to predict that we win this one 2-0, and I'm going to hand over to John to see what he says.
Perfect.
John.
Cheers, Martin.
What do you think? We've got to give a prediction.
It's 2-0.
Go on, John. Your predictions then, John.
Yeah, I've gone for 2-0. Anton,
2-0.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, get them early on. We'll quieten the local fans. We'll obviously make the noise that we're used to making at our end. And this time tomorrow, another great evening. We'll be celebrating.
Absolutely, and fingers crossed you and Martin will be singing loud and proud of part of the 2,500 West Ham fans that are there. Martin and John, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully you'll get a positive result tomorrow, and we'll see you in Seville. That's them gone. Come on, you Irons. This is some of the pictures of the players arriving in the Frankfurt Stadium today. Ben Johnson, Areola, Vladimir Sofau, and look at that man, Ballon Dawson. Look at the geezer. Look at that smug smile. Love it. But let me just do the rest of the press conference. David Moyes went on to talk about this.
Yeah, go. Further, can we maybe have a segment where Martin does pre-match speeches? Because I am now full of confidence. We're going through to the final. Nothing's stopping us now. That was like having like a Sir Ian McKellen give an actorial speech or something like that. You know, it was amazing. I could listen to him all day long. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I do think that Moyes on the squad, he says, I do think I've played down the team a lot because we've still got a lot to do. There are a lot of nice things said about our league position, but I'm still saying I've got a lot more to do to make this as successful as we want it to be. I've got to find a way of driving those players onto another level and making sure we're in the final or trying to be in the final. He goes on and talks about the squad morale. He says our climb over the last 2 years has probably been faster than we'd expect. And sometimes you have to come down a little bit to go again. But hopefully we continue to build and grow. And that's what I'm trying to drive home. The biggest thing I've seen is this mentality change in the players here. It's incredible. I say to Declan Rice, every week you have to drive them on. Every day in training, the levels and standards have to be taken higher. Every day you have to drive them on. The levels, he has the chance to work with some of the best players in the country when he goes away with England. Harry Kane, Harry Maguire, you name it. And he has to bring that back to our camp and demand it from the other boys. The demand really is that we try to improve and put it on them. They need to be the ones who do it as well. The manager's always the one who gets found out. That happens or not, but sometimes the player needs to be the ones who roll their sleeves up and not accept anything other than the best. And I think, you know, listening to David Moyes there, he is ramming home like everything that he is building at that club. Everything that if you ever remember when he first came back to the club, he'd done an interview. He took the squad to St Andrews the first year, took them to St Andrews 2 years in a row. And he'd done a really in-depth interview with the press team, and he was talking about the model he was trying to build and what he was trying to do with West Ham, working with the squad, bring the morale up, bring the confidence up, bring the motivation up. And I think it was like one of those kind of typical interviews as a West Ham fan you would listen to, and you'd probably sit there and go, I get what you're trying to do. I get what you're trying to do, but will it actually happen? I didn't know if we actually thought it would happen because we were just coming off the back of, you know, what like a relegation fight. But 2 years down the line, look at us. And I get it. I get that there's still fans that are moaning about the situation, but I said in an earlier video today, you know, I want us to get through to the final. Of course I do. But worst case scenario, if we don't, I'm going to look back at this season and literally turn around to the David Moyes and the players and say, thank you. Thank you for what you've given us because it's been so special. Yeah, look.
Yeah, just before I forget, when you were saying about the Bowen and Payet thing, I agree with you. But I actually said during the game in the first leg against Frankfurt, he's like our Messi. Because he's at the same sort of stature and the way he dribbles, because I didn't think he had that much pace on him. But then when you see him get the ball, and I think there was one part in the first half where he got the ball and he actually dribbled around about 4 or 5 of their players and somehow stuck out the ball. I was like jaw dropped, like I used to be with Payet. I think, how the hell has he got himself out of that situation? And his technique's improved, his pace improved. And I just look at him now as he's like our Messi. I think the only thing that maybe needs to improve is his finishing, because I think he had, you know, that chance that he hit that's well saved by keeping it at the post. But I agree with you about the Moyes thing and what he's changed at West Ham. The interesting thing is how quickly you forget things. And I think, like most West Ham fans will tell you, all we ask really generally is that you put the effort in. You know, you don't mind losing 3-0 as long as you've given it a go. Now, it's almost a standard now at West Ham that the least the players give you is effort, and it's now we don't have to worry about the effort. We're now all we worry about now is scoring goals and winning games. And it's quite funny that I think this season people are understanding the fact that we're not winning league games this late in the season. We're understanding we're putting out slightly second teams against Chelsea and against Arsenal, and we're kind of going all our eggs in one basket and we're going to go for the Europa League. The FA Cup, the League Cup and the FA Cup, then being knocked out of them, that's all a distant memory now. And it's now to the point where you're thinking, do you know what? We can see what the manager is looking at, is aiming for. And I think most West Ham fans can respect that. And now, I think most fans at the start of the season, if you just said some semi-final Europa League, and go, yeah, no worries, we'll have that all day long, providing we obviously do well in the league. But now it's got to the point now where it's not actually looking too unbelievable or impossible that we could make the final and maybe possibly even go even further. That it's like, do you know what? Stuff the league. Let's just go for the Europa League and let's just get the best out of that. So yeah, he's changed the whole complex, and he's changed. What he's interestingly done on a final point is he's changed the West Ham fans' demands. Do you know what I mean? Because we're sort of demanding that if you're going to drop the league form, make sure the European form's good. But we're jumping on it as well. It's not even a demand. Yeah. It's like we're just enjoying it at the same time. And I've never really experienced anything like this as a West Ham fan. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, it really is. I've asked everyone. I'm not going to do the typical starting 11 builder. I've just asked everyone in the chat to start naming their starting 11. So Chris is saying Areola, Krez, Sergio Dawson, Zuma, Sofao, Souček, Rice, Fornals, Lanzini, Bowen, Antonio. Garino is saying Areola, Johnson, Zuma. I mean, I'm just going to put it all in there for you to DC, but he's included Vlasic as a false 9 as well. Hammersbakes is giving you the team here, but I just want to kind of touch on Hammersbakes again. Hammer. Terry, thanks for joining us. If anyone doesn't know Hammersbakes, please go and check him out on Twitter. A great brand spanking new business. Yeah, great brand spanking new business. You can see from the image. What a great gift! What a great idea! Does all football clubs, but particularly West Ham, of course. So if you're interested, go and check out Hammersbakes on Twitter. For any, I think you ship, don't you, Terry, all over the UK? I don't know if you go any further afield, but if it's just all over the UK and you're interested in getting a little West Ham gift for someone, then please go and check it out. Really good stuff as well. So when it comes to the West Ham team, this is the team we put out last time round. Let's be brutally honest, lads. What changes, if at all any, do you see taking place tomorrow?
Do you want Matt to go first?
Yeah, go for it, Matt.
Maybe 2.
Really?
Yeah. I think he may find room for Ben Rama.
Okay.
Because the impact he made coming off the bench in the first game. I actually thought in the first game at Frankfurt, when he got off the bench, he was the one guy that was actually picking up the ball and running at their fullbacks, running at the defenders, and he was getting joy out of it.
Yeah.
You know, much like Bowen was on the other side, whereas Lanzini and Fornals aren't good run at players. And they were quite happy with our sort of ticky-tacky football in front of them. You know, Lanzini and Fornals linking up and trying it, but they weren't happy at players running. So I could see Moyes trying to fit him in. The other one, and this for me would be more tactical, I could see Johnson coming in just for the pace.
Yeah.
Sufal, even at the weekend against Arsenal, what it took Arsenal 60 minutes to work out that Sufal hasn't got any pace. I think that if his injury is just a bit like Creswell a few years back, when Creswell had that one injury and it's just knackered him. It seems that Sufal this season, after he's come back from his injuries, seems to just lost a yard of pace. I can't remember who it was on Sunday that someone, I don't know if it was Nketiah or it was Saka, but someone literally squared Sufal up and just knocked it round him. And Sufal just tried to stand sideways. He just went round him and was gone.
Yeah.
And with the pace of the wingers that they have, Frankfurt, I could see him trying to fit Johnson in either side, to be honest. I could see him trying to fit him at right back or left back. I don't think Creswell had a particularly fun time against Frankfurt either.
The question, I suppose the big thing I'm going to say is, I mean, for me personally, I don't know if he is going to make changes because he is a kind of creature of habit. And I've heard a lot of people saying that Souček shouldn't play. Souček will play. There's no ifs or buts about it. I don't think there's any point in us sitting here trying to disguise the fact that Souček's going to play, because I think he does too much under the radar stuff that football, us fans, don't see. But if you're a professional footballer,
Moyes made the point on Sunday, didn't he? After the game, he said that, you know, we conceded from 2 set pieces, but we sacrificed a lot of that height with the changes in the squad we made, you know.
Yeah.
We lost the height of the centre-back, putting Creswell in there. And then we lost our other height because we took out Sojek and put in Noble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ended up with Lanzini marking frigging Rob Holding.
Yep. Just for anyone that doesn't know, Madrid have scored a penalty, so they are now
Yeah.
leading the tie, which is a bit ridiculous. Mad. It's a mad tie. So yeah, there you go. Just for anyone that's looking at that. Aiden is saying, look at the free kick from Bournemouth last night. Try that, as they will have planned for the corner, shoot on sight, get knocked down so far as a must. Tough, strong, gets forward as well. Look
at Bournemouth last night.
Fredericks.
Look at, was it Bournemouth or Forest that took the short corner? And it was just absolutely atrocious. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is full West Ham.
No, I was watching the same. I tweeted exactly the same thing. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Sofal attacking threat better than Johnson. I think the thing is we've got 2 players here. Sorry, I've just got that coming up there. We've got 2 players that are good at defending, good at getting forward, but one's potentially got a better delivery than the other. That's the only way I could really describe it. Really, when you've got Sofal playing on form, Ben Johnson playing on form, I think you've got one that can deliver the ball better into the box than the other. But either way, I'm happy with either or. I mean, do you know what? I'm probably the same as Basti when he came on. It doesn't really matter for me what starting 11 go out tomorrow, if I'm being brutally honest. Because what I do know about tomorrow is that the 11 players that will be on that park, including the squad on the bench, the manager and the fans, everyone is going to throw everything at this game tomorrow. I think we're going to see a next level performance from West Ham, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't want to say that and be disappointed, but all we want is heart, fight, determination, never say die attitude. A bit like when you're looking at the Real Madrid score just now, they were 1 minute away from the game being ended, and they've scored 2 minutes and 2 goals in a minute. You know, it's fight for every last ball, give it everything you can give, and I think that's what West Ham will do tomorrow. Last question I'm going to give to everyone in the chat, though, is to get your predictions in for the game tomorrow. So give me your predictions in the chat. So, predictions. Second leg, semi-final, Europa League. I mean, if you really don't want to give a score prediction, you can just let me know: win, lose, draw, blah, blah, blah.
But football's mental, mate. I'm not being funny. I'm doing this video and I'm watching this and I'm watching the Man City game, which let alone the first leg was ridiculous, right? This one is. I read the comment as well in a live chat. We said that Man City, with about a minute to go, put on defensive subs to knock the game out, and they went and conceded, right? So, as emotional as it gets at the start, we conceded last week in the first 40 seconds, and emotion went out the window, and it was like, right, we've got to get our heads down. A bit like when you're playing FIFA, and you're not really concentrating, and you just sit up and you go, right, FIFA starts now, let's get going. I said penalties to Bastion earlier. I can't see it being as amazing as Lyon away, but apparently Frankfurt have players back. The only thing I think might go in our favour, and I think this has happened to West Ham against Chelsea or whoever it was. We rested a load of players. They rested 9 players in their last league game. I think they lost 2-0 away to Leverkusen. Now sometimes that can backfire. And that can backfire.
But that doesn't. You know, West Ham having a small squad hasn't really. I mean, this could be a debate for another day, for another.
It could
show,
be, but it's not. It's going to be tonight.
No. It can't be, because I really do need to go very soon.
Same here.
But I think you know, for me, it's you know, if. What is it the famous saying my mum says? If you had a square hole, you'd be shitting bricks. People say F all the time. If you signed this striker, if you signed that striker, well, you could just say if you had a square hole, you'd be shitting bricks. Like, it's a very famous Irish saying. But the point of the matter is, like, you could sit here all week and say if we signed 3 or 4 further players, we may be in a better position we're in just now. I don't necessarily believe that is to be 100% true. I made the point earlier on today about the likes of Sebastian Haller. you know, he's linked to Manchester United, and if he goes to Manchester United, they'll probably make that situation work for him because they'll feed him the way that he needs to be fed. But when we brought him into our style of play in our system, it didn't work because we couldn't feed him. Because when we tried to feed him, everything else on the park didn't work. So I don't know. Moyes historically has worked with a small squad. He's making it work, and it's been a special cup season. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, but we're not in the situation we're in. We have to live with what we've got. And for me, I am proud. I'm absolutely proud. So proud of the situation. So, look, what is your predictions, mate?
It's one of those you can't predict. I'm going to stick by my penalty shout. In a way, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we get the job done in 90 minutes, and it's a bit like Leon, and it's finished and done. Because emotionally, I've got a day off from Friday, so I know I'm going to be on the booze anyway. I'm going to have a headache in the morning. Hopefully, it's a nice headache. So I'm going to go with 2-1. Bowen to score. Make up for his, and let's have an over kick that goes in. Let's have that, and we'll have Antonio because I've slagged him off earlier with Basti.
But then that takes it to extra time, though. So then
sorry, I'm about to say. I'm not saying that. I'm just no goal score because we'll both be knackered. We'll both be typical David Moyes fashion. He won't want us to score any more goals. We'll just close it out, which isn't a problem. We'll have an Areola masterclass in penalties, and that'll be his thing going, sign me. And we'll go for on pins. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be done in 90
I'm not going to
minutes.
lie. I'm not going to lie, though, mate. I can't handle penalties. Can't handle penalties. But I'll take that. I'll take a win. As long as we get through, I'll win. Matt, over to you, mate. Start Matt.
It's written in the stars, isn't it? Like the results would have been predetermined. It's going to follow the same results as last time. 3-1 win. Lose the first leg 2-1, win the second leg 3-1.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask him that when he was on, but I forgot. I was going to ask Bastin. Bit offensive question, but how old are you? And are you aware of the last time we played him in 1976?
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to ask him.
I've got that running along the bottom there for anyone who was looking into that. I mean, I'm going to go for a 2-0 West Ham victory. I'm just going to remain positive as long as we win. That's all I want. I just want us to get through and win the game as much as we can. Vinay saying 2-0 West Ham. Hammers Bakes is saying 2-0 Zuman Deckers. 4-0 West Ham from Budgie, Bowen, Brace, Dawson, and Ben Rama. Budgie, I didn't realise that Happy Hammerette had messaged me earlier on, so I'm messaging her just now, which is really good to know. Ludder's too hard to call, but hope we can do it. Aidan is saying, play to the whistle for the full 90. Don't try and shepherd the ball out on the dead ball line when clearing. Rosette will do. Agree with you. Steve Bell, 3-1 West Ham. Chris is saying, I just can't predict it, but I'm positive it's a semi-final. Anything can happen. Mandy G, Frankfurt, not a great home record, but they very rarely get beaten. Mostly draws. 1-0 West Ham. Yarmouth extra time winner. Mandy, yeah, but that would take us. Oh, extra time winner. I've got you. Sorry, Mandy G. Matt, when was Frank last beaten at home in the Europa League? Mandy is saying
2 years ago.
Yep, there you go.
3-1 history this season, and they didn't play last season.
Yeah.
Season before.
Irish Tommy, 3-1 West Ham after extra time. Paul Evans is saying West Ham win. P. Gads is saying 3-0 comfortable win, but the Ultras raid the field and Dawson gets arrested for defeating them all. For now, as they said, did not switch on the last time, and that was wrong. He has not switched like all the team were still in the tunnel. Does anyone know when they previously... Yeah, at home, 1994. But Dawson, my prediction is West Ham win 3-1 in aggregate. It's going to be 3-2 West Ham. If you had a square hole, could be a lucrative business opportunity. Just got BT as my daughter where I was watching, not available. Get in. Love that. Mandy G, this team's smoother in midfield and rely on the turning over possession, which is why they draw so often. Listen, lads. Tomorrow's the big day. Are you going to be able to sleep tonight? I'm not.
I was before I come and done this video. I was keeping it all calm. I was keeping it all together. I was nervous, but I was confident. As I said, Bastian come in and changed my emotions completely. I was literally a Frankfurt fan for about 30 seconds while he was talking, to be honest. And now I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to listen to some sad, weird, epic music, and I'm going to fall asleep with tears in my eyes, crying. And wake up,
and then you're going to wake up with the war cry, the West Ham rallying cry coming from Tommy.
In the morning.
Yeah. Listen, If you are new around here, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you do hit the thumbs up. Loads of stuff happening. I don't know. I think there is going to be a match day live tomorrow. I won't be doing it. I'll be around at the family's house. We'll have the flag set up and everything ready to rock and roll. And then I'll hit panic stations if we get through, because my passport situation is not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And I need to figure out a way, if we do get there, how I can get to Spain without a passport. Someone can help me, please.
Stingy.
I don't know. Let's look into it. Anyway,
Back of a lorry, maybe.
Oh, mate, don't.
Oh.
If you are new around here, like I said, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and yeah, fingers crossed we can get a result tomorrow night. Sleep well, because you're going to need all that energy tomorrow night when you're supporting our beautiful club qualifying for the final of the Europa League. Yes, I said it. We're doing it. Come on, you Irons. Stay safe, and we'll see you then. Take it easy.
It's like a family tree, part of you and